What's up, YouTube? Darky Damien coming at you live from my house, where once again we are doing reaction video commentary. And today we are going to continue covering Carbotanimations Baldur's Gate 3 series. But this is not a regular episode. This is a special episode. This is a behind the scenes episode. Links are down below. Go check these guys out. So we're going to just jump right into it. We're just doing it. Going for it. This is the origin story. So let's watch it together and have some fun. Let's learn. Let's learn some origin stuff.
Hey, why are you talking? You're supposed to be making cartoon. Well, we just thought it would be kind of fun to talk a little bit about our Baldur's Gate experience that we had playing the game. And boy, was it a blast. I'm pretty sure our story is probably very similar to a lot of other people's because I think we all went into the game with an expectation, and then to have our expectations completely blown out of the water, I think we all have that in common. That's for sure.
Yep, that's for sure. Absolutely. 100% agree. Without a doubt. My first gameplay, I just went in not knowing anything. I didn't know anything about this game. I watched a couple of YouTube videos. I think it was Asmongold. It was Asmongold and Darth microtransactions, or DM4, Diablo 4 Diablo 4. He changed it to officially Darth microtransactions. During the time before this came out, everybody was on. Here, we're going to shrink this real quick. Before the Baldur's Gate 3 came out, at least officially, not the beta version, everyone was coming off of Diablo 3 Season 28. And everyone was playing Diablo 3 Season 28. And we were waiting for Diablo 4. So some of us got lucky enough to get early access to Diablo 4. We got lucky enough to enjoy the game before the rest of the world. And believe you me, that early access was fun, as fun as you can possibly imagine. It was awesome. You got to go from level 1 to level 25. And that was it. And it was a blast. I joined up with my buddy. I joined up with my son. Man, we had fun. It was fun. Got to team up with some other people that just randomly joined. It was a blast. So everyone was on the Diablo 4 hype train. Everyone was excited. Everyone was waiting, hopeful, and just grinding out different characters for Diablo 4 and then jumping back between Diablo 4 and Diablo 3 Season 28. So I personally completely missed the launch of Baldur's Gate 3. And then I just so happened to be watching Asmongold and Darth microtransactions. And I was like, wait. I was like, what? I was like, Baldur's Gate 3? I was like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, oh my God, how did I miss this? These are the kind of games that I love to play. This is what I live for, man. I mean, I live for other things, but you know what I mean. Everyone has, they live for music, they live for food, they live for whatever. But video games is my thing. And all of a sudden this game came out and I was like, where the hell was I? Oh, that's right. I was playing that piece of beep game called Diablo 4, that beep, 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 beep game. Oh, come on, man. If you've been around, if you have not been living under a rock or in outer space or on a deserted island that didn't have the internet, you know exactly what's going on with Diablo 4. Okay. But anyway, so I missed it. and it was a bummer. But yeah, this game is freaking awesome.
So I just want to share a couple things that I think, it might be a little interesting that you guys might not know, some inside stories, inside drama, if you will, of the Carbot origin story of our Baldur's Gate characters. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump into it. First of all, let's talk about our 4 main characters
Oh
here.
yeah.
We did use these characters, although actually we started with a druid, not a bard, and then he turned into a bard later. Misdemeanor was my character. I was the rogue. Jonathan, I'm Andrew, by the way. Jonathan was Haagen-Dazs. That was his actual name. Who accidentally, by the way, picked the Dark Urge. He didn't know. So what he did was he was looking through all the legacy characters, and Dark Urge is at the very end, right? He clicked on all of them to see who they were and what they were, and he clicked on Dark Urge, and then he didn't realize what he was doing. He just went straight to customize, and he didn't know he was still on Dark Urge, and he changed himself to a dwarf. And for the first, I'd say, 5 to 10 hours of the game, we had no idea he was the Dark Urge, and that made it all the more fun. It was like cutting off Gale's hand and killing squirrels, and we didn't know what was going on because he had zero control over these interactions. But anyway.
Yeah, and that's true. No, it is. When I watched, I'm a big fan of ESO Danny. ESO Danny. His links are down below. ESO is freaking awesome. He's like one of my all-time favorite content creators. I'm serious. I've been watching ESO since his very first YouTube video. That's how long I have been watching ESO. And even though I wasn't trying to give myself spoilers, playing the game and then going back and watching the video, ESO played a Dark Urge character. He made a character called Uglash, which, if you've been watching and listening to me ramble on in any of these reaction videos or have been watching my evil gameplay, I made a character called Uglash, which is Uglash's little sister. And she was hell-bent on tracking down her big brother and finding out where he went. It was just for fun. I mean, you really can't do that in the game, but it was just something fun to do, But I never played a Dark Urge character, obviously. So all this stuff that I was doing was brand new. Just like these guys are talking about, had no clue on what was going on. So the reactions when the first happened are real because you're like, what? But that's awesome. He didn't even know. I kind of knew. I knew I picked the Dark Urge. That's funny that he didn't even realize that he accidentally picked the Dark Urge.
So our other 2 cousins, Jordan and Josh, they're our cousins, and they played with us. And Jordan was the bard, and Josh was the wizard. And they they were trying to be really cool with their names. I believe their names were Valadelar and Salzdazar. They were trying really, really hard. So we decided to change their names for the cartoon, and we thought of Banjovi, and we couldn't think of another name for the wizard, so we just kept his name as the player, which is my cousin Josh. So we just kept it Josh. So that's how our characters came to be. Moving to episode 1. This actually happened, by the way. I was trying to figure out how to lockpick something, and then Jonathan picked up the thing I was lockpicking and put it in his pocket, and I was like, "What? Hey, I was picking that." That actually happened.
That is funny. I have only gotten an opportunity to play with my buddy and my son just very briefly, and I know that with my buddy, when we first landed, he went off. Like, you can go off and just do whatever you want. You don't have to stay together. You just go off and do whatever you want. And we had gone and found Astarion. And my buddy just said, and killed him. And I'm sitting there laughing my butt off going, what did you just do? And he's like, oops, I killed him. And then when I played with my son, he's all like, we didn't kill him. I said, I actually told him, I said, don't kill Astarion. I said, my buddy killed him. Let's not do that. Let's collect all the companions. You can go off and do whatever you want. So that's funny. This is hilarious. I love it. I'm so glad. Carbots, I'm glad. I'm very happy. I think I made a comment in your comment section, but I'm so glad you guys did this video. I'm very happy that you did this and you shared your background. It was awesome. Keep it up. Don't stop. Just don't. Just keep going. I've told you this. Keep going.
A lot of all these other things that you might see, like they're all honest interactions, but they may have happened in other areas, and we felt that they were really beneficial in this particular cartoon. Actually, 99% of the time, they are very, very true experiences, but we do move them around for the sake of the cartoons. We're just gonna take a quick break. Word from our sponsor. Who's our sponsor?
Sorry, I'm not getting paid for any of this, so I'm not going to show their sponsor. You want to pay me, I'll show it, but otherwise, no.
Episode 3, this is where he found his identity. Right around this point in the game, Josh, our mage, started buffing Jonathan with jump, and he loved it so much, he just kept saying, give me jump, give me jump, give me jump.
Yeah, it
And
was.
ended up being like Josh was his drug dealer. He kept being like, here, give me more. Okay, I got you, bro. So he kept giving him the jump power. And this battle right outside of the gate, we had one of our first huge laughing fits where we just couldn't stop laughing because of what transpired. Was pretty ridiculous. At least at that point when we were so new to the game. So Josh had shot some ice on the ground. This doesn't exactly happen here, but we move this stuff to other episodes. But Josh shot some ice on the ground. Jonathan uses his jumping power. He wasn't even near the battle, by the way. I think he jumped into the battle from really far away. He jumped in and he landed next to the guy that got hit by the ice. The guy had 1 hit point. I believe it was the big guy of the group, the hug bear or whatever the frig they're called. I don't know. So Jonathan jumps onto the ice, immediately slips and falls over to this guy that has 1 health. And then it turns to that guy's turn. That guy stabs him with something and then jumps away. We just thought that was freaking hilarious. We didn't know you could slip on ice. We didn't know any of that. So it all was a huge surprise. Like this game just kept surprising us. Episode
That is true. When you first start, well, I guess if people are watching all the videos, you're gonna know this stuff. But if a person just gets the game and starts playing it, you don't know anything, you know, and it's hilarious. The game is awesome. I can't tell you. I cannot stop telling everybody how fun this game is. I mean, and the replay value of Baldur's Gate 3 is almost endless. I'm trying to play catch up, okay? Because I've been playing I finished my evil gameplay. But now it's like I almost want to go back and do it all over again because my version of the Dark Urge evil gameplay is not the same as, well, I'm going to say ESO Danny. Most of all of the origin characters and the characters that you recruit throughout the game are all dead. They all died. Horrible, gruesome deaths. Okay. So I was left with basically 3 origin characters. Out of all the characters you can get in the game, I only had 3 left at the end. Just 3. Everybody else died. The only one that I can't prove that died was Gale. Because even though they say if he gets stuck in the teleporter that he'd be lost forever. But technically, you know, there he could have survived cutting his hand off. You know, people lost limbs and could survive. Will, I have no idea what happened to Will. So technically, Will did not die. Will leaves your party. Spoiler alert. If you haven't played the game, spoiler. Will leaves your party if you attack Emerald Grove, which leaves an option for you to run into Will later. But in my game, I never found Will again. And in my version, I did not get to go to the prison that's under the water, where his dad was being kept prisoner. So technically, depending how you play it, and if Larian did this, Will could be a prisoner as well with his dad. But I don't know that. But yeah, but again, there are so many options, so many outcomes of this game. It's ridiculously awesome.
Episode 4. Yes, Jonathan absolutely killed that squirrel. Also, we did end up reloading the save many times. We were unaware that touching things angered people and got the cops involved. It was a very, very...
See? No. And when I did the reaction video for this episode, I told you, if you just touch something, man. Oh, I wasn't kidding.
Scary. We weren't quite at the point where we're like, hey, let's just deal with our decisions. We weren't confident enough. We did end up save scumming a few times in a lot of towns like this. Okay, so this happened actually in a different playthrough, but we laughed super hard at it. Someone summoned a boulder of fire. It was their turn to control the boulder. It was so funny to us that we could see where the boulder was looking. It would like turn itself over, around and around it as if it had a face, basically, but without actually having one. The way it would like climb ladders and climb cliffs, we just thought that it was so human, but it still maintained its boulder. It was too funny to pass up, so we had to throw it in this episode. It was super, super funny to us. Okay, so this...
Okay. No, I actually cut that part out of the reaction video I did for that episode because I wasn't sure. Okay. I don't want to... I hope I don't say things that are wrong. You know, I like to get my facts straight because I want to try to be a good content creator. But I had said I did not play the wizard throughout any of my gameplays. In my good guy gameplay, Gale pissed me off, so I never used him because Gale ended up killing Scratch and the Owl Cub and, well, everyone in camp. So that left a sour taste in my mouth when it came to Gale. And I never really utilized the wizard. So when he was saying that in the episode where they had the ball and you could see where it was, I was like, no, I'm not going to make a comment on that because I don't know the facts behind it. But they just said that. So that is funny as, wow. I'm going to keep giving you guys thumbs up, man. I love you guys. That is awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Didn't actually happen until the end of Act 2, where our bard, Jordan, had survived an explosion and was standing amidst fire in all directions. He was just standing in fire, but it was his turn, and he was really thinking of what to do next. As he was thinking of what to do, we all just started laughing because he was standing in fire for at least 2 minutes. Usually Jordan takes a few minutes to think of what he's gonna
do. And I made a comment, not on this, but I made a comment before that when it's a turn-based game. So when it's your turn, you can literally and honestly take forever to make up your mind what you want to do. I have been in the middle of a battle and it would be my turn. And I would put my headphones down, go put food in the oven, go use the restroom, get a drink, go change the laundry or whatever, and I didn't have to pause it or do anything because it was my turn, and until you engage, the game's just paused basically. That is awesome. I love this. This is awesome.
And the fact that he was standing in fire the whole time and he wasn't getting hurt, we found that to be pretty funny. So we stuck it in this episode. And then, of course, for him to just make a few strums, run out and slip on the ice, it just added to the comedic effect. We thought that was pretty good. So here we actually did stop the windmill, I believe. I don't know. I've played through the game like 4 times at this point. So I can't remember if our group play we actually launched. John, do you remember if we did? Jonathan? Huh? Do you remember if the guy on the windmill, we actually launched him or we saved him? We saved him? Okay. So we actually didn't launch him in our group playthrough. We saved him. And it was actually by accident. At this point, our bard wasn't a bard. He was a druid. And we were at the top of the windmill because we knew we had to fight all these guys and we snuck around.
No, you don't. No free advertisements. But no, or what he is about to say right here is something new to me. So this is awesome. So they're sharing, and I can't stress this enough that I'm so grateful that you guys are sharing. It's beautiful. But I didn't know this. I actually really want to go back into one of my games and actually try this.
Round back, and we got to the top of the windmill, and we are gonna shoot all these goblins from above. We didn't know that if you kill the leader, they all run away. We didn't know that. We were like, okay,
I
there's a
I
huge
didn't
fight.
know
There's like
that.
10 goblins here, so we gotta basically.
Really? Seriously? Well, I didn't know that either. I fought them all. I mean, twice in 2 gameplays, I convinced them to run away. But in one version, I ended up fighting them, and I fought all of them. I didn't know that if you killed the leader, they all ran away. That's cool. So there, look, Carbot Animations just gave you some tips. There's some helpful tips for you, along with this one.
Prepare for this fight. So we sat up top there, and Jordan, turning into a spider, was like, hey, I'm gonna web the ground so when they try and climb up, they'll get stuck. So he webs the ground. It covers the entire bottom floor of the windmill. And what did it do? The webbing lodged the 2 mechanisms that you can pull, and it stopped the windmill. The webbing did that. That was the first time our minds were blown. We're like, oh my gosh, this game is sick. And it was so cool to see that the webbing actually stopped the windmill. It was just a crazy, crazy wake-up call to the whole experience of the game. And that's, I think, right around the time where we're like, we wanted to start experimenting with all this kind of stuff. It was super fun. Okay, so here we definitely tried barrelmancy. It just wasn't as successful as this in the cartoon. We didn't have this many barrels. I think we only had like 1, and the goblins wouldn't let us touch their barrels, so we couldn't move them. So what we had to do.
Remember, if you watched the previous episode, I mentioned that. I think I stopped the video and I said something about how you don't necessarily get that many explosive barrels in the first part of the game. You'd have to go through the game and collect them as time went on, and then come back and do it. So he does make a point here, but again, drawing in a cartoon, you can pretty much do whatever you want. But yeah, that's funny.
Do is we had to move one of ours close to one of theirs and then lure them all to those 2 barrels and kill like probably a third of them, somewhere around there. And Jordan, being a really good bait, he went over there and he played some songs for them, and they all came running over. And I think that's when we did turn-based mode and chaos ensued. But yeah, it was not as grand and epic as the cartoon, but it was still fun. Volo in our playthrough actually didn't die here either. We just thought it'd be funny if he died in the explosion, but he didn't die here. He actually made it back to our camp. He survived, well, for the time being. And I guess Jonathan had a conversation with him. He did the whole sequence where he thinks he can get the thing out of your brain by stabbing you in the eye. So he like stabs Jonathan in the eye, but I think he something bad. I don't even know. I wasn't part of this cinematic. I wasn't listening in. Volo just
See, and that's one thing that when you're playing a multiplayer game, you can miss out on a lot of stuff, especially if you're off just doing your own thing. So like I said, you don't have to be anywhere near them. You could teleport to wherever and run around the forest or the land. Why, like he said, he decided he wanted to talk to Volo, and that that whole thing happens. And then if you're off goofing around somewhere else, or even just making food, or grabbing the mail, or changing the laundry, or in the restroom, you're gonna miss it. So playing a solo single game has its perks, because then you get to experience everything. Is where, even though playing a multiplayer game has its enjoyment, you kind of miss out some of the dialogue.
decided to run away, and so everyone started throwing crap at him, and then they killed him. I think Jonathan and someone else, maybe Josh or someone, killed him, and so Jonathan decided to stick Volo in his pants and take him everywhere he went, like his toy doll, basically. He took it around everywhere and showed him all the sights and sounds of Baldur's Gate 3. It was basically his.
Really? Oh man, I usually just take dead bodies and shove them in a treasure chest inside the camp storage, because it is so hard to not pick up and collect everything in this game. Crates, treasure chests, just forks, knives, plates, skulls, bones. You just pick it all up because then you could just send it all to camp. Have a horde, and that's funny. He actually really you're not serious really. He took through the whole game. Wow. Okay.
His best friend at that point for the rest of the game. This spectator Pokeball strategy was not used by us. As a matter of fact, I don't even know what we did with that thing because I don't think we knew what it did. Someone must have just sold it. We don't know where it went. We actually got this from Day 9's playthrough where he threw it thinking it would capture an ogre, but really it just shot out a spectator and the spectator killed all the goblins for him as he ran away. I think there was one goblin left by the end and he killed it himself. What a great accidental strategy. Thought it was so funny. We want to throw it into our cartoon as well. But what happened after with the ogres, coming through the ceiling and us negotiating with them absolutely happened action for action. It was
I have never thrown the flask. I usually just examine it and then open it. I do remember the first time I opened it. I I I did it in camp. Yeah, that didn't turn out so well. But no, okay. And then, well, really, they fell through the ceiling. Oh, I gotta see that. I want to see that for real. That would be awesomely funny. I'd love it.
so fun. We killed all the goblins and the ogres were all still there and alive and they're like, hey, we didn't get to eat enough. And as Jordan, being the charismatic bard, talking to the ogres, Jonathan was like, hey, there's a brazier above them. I should hit it and it'll hit them and then we can kill them and take their stuff. And Jordan's like, no, wait. I'm gonna talk to them. Maybe they can fight us for us again. And Jonathan goes, I don't know. I really want to do it. Basically having a dark urge moment in real life. Jordan's like, no, wait, just stop. Hold on. Jonathan's like, I don't know. And Jordan's like, don't do it. And then a few moments of silence passed. It hit the brazier, it landed on the ogres, and the ogres immediately killed Jordan. And everybody else ran away. I think Josh blinked up into the scaffolding up above. I went invisible because I stole the Dark Urge cape from Jonathan. He didn't even know he got a Dark Urge cape from his little goblin butler because it happened before he joined the game. So I stole the cape as a rogue. It was so beneficial to me, and I never told.
Okay, that part I don't understand. You stole his Dark Urge cape. He didn't know he had it before he joined the game. That one threw me for a bunch of question marks swirling around my head. Like that part I didn't really understand. But then again, hey, I've been playing solo single games, so I don't know. You know, like because I have not gotten a chance to finish my multiplayer games with my friend or with my son because of work schedule and um, I'm a night owl. I stay up really late, and the other two, you know, they have day light lives. I have night light lives. If that makes sense. I don't know. Whatever. I'm a dork. So get over it.
Told him that I stole it from him. So surprise, Jonathan, I stole your cape. Anyway, Jordan died. We all laughed. And it was pretty funny. Ultimately, Baldur's Gate 3 is just an amazing game that is just full of surprises. I follow a lot of creators that have played it for over 1,000 hours, and they're still finding things that they have never seen before. And truly, it deserved Game of the Year. Game of the, I don't know, maybe the next few years. What an achievement. Thank you, Baldur's Gate, for all these amazing experiences. And thank you guys for watching. We really have fun. We've had a lot of fun playing the game, and we have a lot of fun doing the cartoons. And we love reading your comments, and we love it when people react to our cartoons. So if anyone out there is reacting to them, thank you so much. We love watching them as well. All right, see you later. Carbot Team Carbot says we'll talk to you later.
And you're welcome because you make it fun. And I hope you do see me. And yeah, because I love you guys. They are awesome. I love them. I love them a lot. Again, it would be a wonderful opportunity and a privilege to just meet these guys in person, you know. But because I I can't as of right now, a thank you through video is what I have to offer. Thank you. Thank you. Again, their links are down below. Go check them out. They are wonderful. If you have been watching with me, and you've been watching them. So thank you. And I hope that you continue to watch their stuff, my stuff, and especially ESO. Danny. Come on, Nate. Come on, Danny. Let's go. I don't know whether you're ever going to see any of my videos or anybody out there is going to say, hey, this guy's talking about you, man. You need to go, like, check him out, or he's been calling you out, you know. But, to play a game, oh my God, that would be so awesome. Holy crap. To play a multiplayer game with Danny? Oh, dude, that would be so much fun. Hell, I'll play a multiplayer game with Carbots. I don't care. I'm all down for it, man. But again, thank you. Have a good night.
I love you. Bye bye.